I'm going to be very vague about when this is in the timeline. However, I would say it's probably has been either a couple weeks prior to this session or as long as a month prior, somewhere in that
Okay.
time. So you're definitely still showing. Um, and can you just describe how have, especially since you finished um, your duties as the matriarch, it's been, I want to say, a good amount of time since you've passed your
Torch.
you
It was a
gave
peaceful
it
transition, I'll let
it
you
was a
know.
peaceful transition. Just as an FYI, peaceful transition. What a concept. Um, how have you been spending your time now between taking yourself and your baby, between taking care of the main regions of the diminished ether regions, that is Navara and Tevinter?
I think after sort of helping the new person adjust to their new responsibilities, I think Kenna definitely would have started focusing more on making connections and developing relations with the people that she's in charge of. Um, I think she definitely would have been more focused on that because, the Avar are taken care of. It's not her responsibility. Peaceful transition of power. So she lets them handle everything. So I think she definitely spends a lot of time in Tevinter um, and the other surrounding territories. I think she spends time with Connor, especially. I think she takes time for herself, which um, she never really got to do before, especially taking Connor with her, maybe to the breach. I think she makes sure to make time for both of them, which they never really got when they were so busy.
Especially since, let's be fair now, once the baby comes, I don't know how much time you're going to have with
Exactly.
Connor. I mean, you'll be together, but you won't be like together. Believe me,
Yeah.
I know. So, believe me. So, okay. So let's say that you are making your rounds back to Tevinter. I'm sure that thanks to Violetta, you have a wide network of illuvions that takes you very easily to your different regions, and so as you are entering into the city of Tevinter via your illuvion, you realize that the city is currently seems to be in very high alert, and um, you basically are seeing citizens, mages running around in a semi-panic but semi-orderly fashion, and you realize very quickly that the city is under attack by three dragons.
Oh,
Three dragons.
well, I turn and leave. No, I was kidding.
You okay? Well,
No.
see ya.
Oh my gosh. Three dragons. Okay. Um, three dragons. Does it look like these dragons are simply circling? Are they actively very aggressive?
Yeah. So you have heard rumors that there has been a sudden surge of dragon sightings and dragon attacks all throughout Thetis, and this seems to be one where there's actually been three attacking a city at once. Now, keep in mind, Tevinter is a very powerful city because it's a city of mages. So, if anyone is going to get hit by three dragons and live to tell the tale, Tevinter is better at that, but it doesn't mean that they may not appreciate assistance. So you will discover, just because people in this city know who you are, they will, one citizen will say, "Oh, Kenna, Miss Kenna, oh my goodness, I'm so glad you're here." And basically they will explain to you that there is a Sandy Howler high dragon, there is an Abyssal high dragon, and a Greater Mistral dragon. And it seems like the Greater Mistral is a adult dragon, but not a high dragon.
Okay.
The Greater Mistral dragon is attacking more of the rural ends of the city. So you've got like where your farmland is. You've got where some of the, I guess, lesser wealthy people are. You've got the abyssal high dragon who is attacking more of the middle class, like if you could call it suburban. I don't think they have suburbs, but it's like the middle class. And then the sandy howler high dragon, which seems to be attacking more of the merchants. I'm sorry, more of the aristocrats of Tevinter. And she's basically telling you that the citizens have been doing a decent job of fending the dragons off. However, there's two problems. One, these dragons seem to be particularly resistant to magic. So, City of Mages, even though there's a lot of mages in the city, a dragon resistant to magic is still giving them a bit of pause. And then secondly, because you are currently in the season of eternal darkness, it's making it very difficult to fight these flying creatures, because even though they do have light sources, like it's like stabbing in the dark sometimes.
Right. Okay.
I will also let you know that Esbjörn is with you as well
Oh.
on this particular. So Esbjörn is taking a vacation from his cubs.
Oh yeah.
Of which he's had many cubs.
Mhm. He's
So
very
this is-
popular.
Yeah. So he's taking a vacation for the kids. Right now.
No.
But Esbjörn seems to be understanding what is happening, and he does not seem scared. He seems like, all right, just point me in whatever direction you want me to go, and I'll go.
That's my boy. All right. Okay, so let's take care of the darkness now, and I will let there be light from the city. That's a quick problem I can solve right away.
Super easily, you will activate your bracer, and immediately the darkness melts away, and you can see the sunlight piercing. And it happens very abruptly, such that you can clearly see all three dragons now in the distance. And they all, like, three of them kind of snarl and hiss, and almost seem blinded by the light immediately, which then you start seeing fireballs and lightning bolts and like all these other magical spells being cast on it immediately, because it looks like there's an opening, and it seems that in of itself seems to have helped to turn the tide a little bit.
Perfect. Knowing that the city can take care of itself for the most part, I think from there she would tell people to go to safety, but she'd head to the farmlands.
Okay.
She's still aware of how the hierarchy works, and so there's probably less people there to protect. And she would go over there to help those people.
Okay. So you head over to the farmlands. Esbjörn is going to follow with you.
If possible, I would like to use my bracer to attempt to blind the dragon, sort of create a darkness around its eyes, or even enhance the light that's already shining from the sun. That's better. Yeah, let's do that one.
Yeah, you will, again, very easily be able to focus a blinding light in the face of this dragon. And it's, trying to shake it off, but you're just kind of basically keeping it surrounding its head. And it seems super confused. It's not at all having a great day. And that seems to be able to allow the rest of the mages to overpower it. I don't know if you want to follow up with anything else in addition to that. That's up to you.
I don't know if it'll work on a dragon, but when I see that the dragon's sort of becoming weaker, maybe more susceptible to this, I think she would strike her staff on the ground and attempt to speak with animals, sort of trying to command and grab its attention.
Yeah. Okay. You strike it down. The dragon seems to be very weakened, and it will eventually crash to the ground. and it looks like the battle mages and the guards are gonna come in to slay it and kill it.
Hold up my
But
hand.
if you hold up your hand. All right. So
Stay your magic.
So basically you see this entire crowd like coming in, and then I guess I envision you are charging forth with on the back of Esbjörn.
Yeah.
And then, you sort of do almost like a Gandalf "You shall not pass," but it's like, wait. Actually,
Right.
what do you say? Tell the citizens. What do you say to them as they are about to
Tell them
slay?
to hold your magic. I wish to speak to this beast.
She says, "The Guardian of Ether speaks. Stand down, everyone. Stand down." And the entire group of like I don't know 30 or some fighters immediately stop and they just wait and watch. And then what do you do?
I approach cautiously to the dragon, and I will speak as commandedly as I can, speaking hopefully that it understands me. Be at ease, beast. I simply wish to talk at the moment.
You can sense that there is a connection. Now, a dragon is a little different from the typical like woodland animals that you normally speak to. So you have a feeling that you may be able to communicate with it partially. I don't know if you'll be able to decipher everything that it's saying, but at least enough to get a general idea. And right now, the dragon is speaking to you in a garbled fashion that you're not quite sure what it's saying yet.
Okay. I am going to approach you. Be still. And I'm going to attempt to touch the dragon, if it will allow me.
All right. Roll animal handling.
Oh. Yeah. 14.
Okay, that's fine. You will be able to reach out and touch the dragon. The dragon's skin is rough and cold to the touch. The dragon pulls back slightly, but it doesn't attack you. Mm-hmm. And you can again touch it again, and it feels very cold to the touch, and you can sense that its heartbeat is pounding rapidly.
Right. I sort of want to do what I did. Obviously, this is on a much larger scale, but once long ago, Halisair used to get very, very angry too, and I would create sort of this calming light effect, sort of to ease her a bit. Okay. I wish to try and do the same while I'm speaking, at least, so it can at least sense my intent, if possible, while I'm speaking.
That's fine.
Okay.
Go ahead. You do it, and it seems the shaking is slowing down. Present still, but slowing down.
Dragon, why have you attacked this city? Do you intend harm?
She calls. She sings. She calls. She calls us all.
Who calls? Who sings?
The augur. The augur sees. She speaks. I hear her call. I have no choice. I must go. I must go to her. But I know not where she is.
And so you thrash out against this city, seeking the augur.
He starts to say something more garbled now. Roll perception, empathy.
17.
Okay. You have a sense that this dragon is not quite in its right mind. It's almost like it's gone mad. It's gone feral. Like something is causing it to behave in such a way that it normally would not. And I'm going to say that you're going to attempt to try to get as much information as you can from him, but as of right now, he just keeps, the only thing you can get amongst the garbled language is just, she's calling the augur, she wants us all to go to her, I don't know where she is, and you're getting a feeling that he is just like almost feral, like just mad, and doesn't understand what's happening and what's going on.
Oh. Is it possible to glean like this type of dragon? Where would they be from? Is this native to Tevinter area?
No. So a Gamoran Stormrider actually is native to the Emerald Graves.
Oh my god.
Which is where you find it in Dragon Age Inquisition.
Mm-hmm.
Mm-hmm.
That's super far away. And he flew all the way here to for this call.
Yeah. He says, I hear it. It's getting louder and louder and louder. And as the creature says it, you can feel him getting crazier and crazier and crazier, as if it's like you're hearing a song on repeat over and over and over your head, and you can't get it out of your head. It's just driving you crazy. That's what it's sounding like from him.
Is it possible to... Oh, if he's feral. Oh, I don't want to kill him. Oh. Is it possible to non-lethally knock him out?
I would think so.
Okay.
I would think so.
With the mage's help, maybe something to pacify him.
Yeah, you can definitely do that to pacify him.
Okay.
So you're able to command them, and they will manage to essentially stun it or paralyze it, or otherwise incapacitate it. Meanwhile, you hear news that they were able to take down the Abyssal High Dragon. The Sandy Howler, however, retreated. It realized it was in danger of its life, and for a moment it ended up retreating. And they are over to the east, towards the east.
Okay.
And as the citizens are gathering themselves up, one of the citizens runs up to you. It is a man that you actually have met before. His name is Amarin Forfax. Kenna. And this is the thing. Most people refer to you as Guardian Kenna or Guardian of the Aether. For whatever reason,
he thinks he's on first-term basis.
Oh yeah, Amarin thinks that you're on first-term basis. Yeah, so he just comes. He's very, very buddy with you because he's rich, and he feels like he needs to play nice with someone like you, and he comes up to you and says, Kenna, do you remember me? It's your old buddy, Amarin.
Yes, of course. How could I forget you? You are unforgettable.
The bear, Esbjorn, growls at him.
He remembers you too.
Well, I see that you have brought your pet with you.
Yes, not a pet. Not a pet.
Servant?
Oh, that's worse. No, definitely not. He is my companion, my equal.
Yes, companion. Of course. My apologies. And again, he is, Esbjorn's just not having it at all.
He's just very protective when I'm, my condition.
I see. Well, I just wanted to, I heard that you were in the neighborhood, and I just wanted to let you know, Miss Kenna, that I am absolutely grateful that you arrived. I must say, though, that I noticed that you didn't quite have time to make it over to the to my side of the city. You were over here with the rural folk.
The people that provide your food. Yes, I would hate for the city to starve.
That's a good point. I should also point out, though, that people cannot starve if they are killed by a dragon first.
It is true, but so little faith you have in your own magics and your people. I completely trust the Magisters to protect their city. I think you should have more trust in them as well.
You, you speak very wise words, Miss Kenna. I did not make it. It did not seem like I was questioning you or anything. That wasn't what I was doing. I was just merely. No.
We are friends.
Of course. So, I was also wondering, did you receive my invitation? I was asking if you were interested in having dinner at my estate. I sent you, I want to say 3 letters, and I never got a response back.
Oh, maybe the mailman didn't make it to the Avarian lands. It's quite distant, you know. Maybe it just got lost in the mail. That is a shame, of course.
Well, I'm going to have to find out from my servant boy, in other words, his slave boy. I'm going to have to find out if he must have failed in the deliveries. Then don't worry, I will be sure to right this wrong immediately.
I don't think you need to. I mean, here I am now. You know, perhaps everything happens for a reason, and here we are. I'm sure you played a great part in defeating the dragon as well. We can swap stories.
That'd be great. So, are you free this evening for dinner? My servants would be more than happy to prepare whatever meal you desire.
Oh, that would be splendid, of course. I'm more of a rustic eater, if your belly can handle it.
I think that we can manage that. So is that a yes?
I'll have to check with my schedule, but I think yes. Let's do dinner.
Excellent. I will look forward to it. And it seems like he's about to speak again when suddenly from behind him you catch a glance of a procession moving towards you, and you can see that Archon Calpurnia is arriving. And it's like, parting of the Red Sea. A lot of the people who are gathered here immediately allow the Archon to come forth towards you. And Amarin immediately sees her. And he, again, has this look of outwardly respect, but you also can see in his eyes that he has a look of, oh, it's the so-called Archon, because Amarin doesn't fully 100% support Calpurnia, but he's, putting up a front and say, Archon Calpurnia, so good to see you. I was just thanking our hero here, Guardian Kenna, for her assistance in the city's attack.
Like a save me smile.
Calpurnia says, I appreciate you reaching out with your thanks, Mr. Forfax. If you, though, excuse us, I would like to speak with the Guardian privately. Yes, of course. Well, I am going to go and inform my servants to get ready for your arrival then. I think we will be serving dinner around 7 o'clock sharp.
Perfect. Esbjorn has quite the appetite.
Oh, the companion is coming too to dinner?
Of course, yes. Definitely.
What?
He will require a room as well.
A room, Miss Kenna?
Yes.
He starts to falter a bit.
Yes, we will both be staying the night. I'm sure all your friends will be quite jealous.
Oh, yes, yes. He looks like there's a little bit of a panic in his face. Whatever you want, whatever you desire, Miss Kenna, it is my pleasure to provide.
What a gracious host you are.
And with this, Amarin will leave, and Calpurnia will turn to you, and she's going to notice the reaction, but she's not going to say anything. And then she says, "Walk with me, Guardian of Ether."
Thank you. I will.
You will just walk together with her, and I think that Esbjorn is neutral to Calpurnia. He doesn't dislike her, but I wouldn't say like he's close to her either. So he's neutral, but he's just following along. And Calpurnia says, "Guardian of Ether, I also would like to extend my gratitude towards you for aiding ourselves in the hour of need. As soon as I saw the sun shine through the heavens, it felt like the arrival of a guardian angel."
That is a beautiful way of putting it. I'm happy to help, Archon.
I also am appreciative that you decided to prioritize our rural side of our city.
Yes, I mentioned it to Marin, but obviously the crops are important. I figured that these people would be less protected as well. I hope I don't overstep in that assumption.
She says, "Not at all. As you know, however, every single decision that is made from a position of power is constantly criticized and highly scrutinized."
Yes, I am well aware. I don't envy your job.
I suppose, to be fair, that I owe it to you, however, for having this position in the first place. I just wanted to let you know that I'm still extremely grateful that you have helped support me throughout the last several years. Though I must say that once I've reached this position, it has not been an easy journey for me.
No, positions of power typically, the easy part is earning it. Maintaining it is the difficult one, I found. Getting people to listen and agree, for that matter. You have a difficult journey, but if my name adds any weight to your decisions, please use it freely.
I'm glad to hear you say that. As you heard, I have begun to make it public about my support for moving towards a slavery-free nation. As you can imagine, there are mixed feelings about such a decree amongst the citizens. Do you, by any chance, have any advice or words of wisdom that I may pull from during this very difficult time?
I'd say that it's difficult to change things, especially because when people are so set in their ways simply because that's the way things are done. I myself had to change the direction of the Avar. We were constantly wanting to battle and fight, and instead I chose a way of peace, which was not a popular opinion, but it is one that I fought daily to maintain, and that is what you have to look to when you're struggling. Always, if it feels right and you know you're doing the right thing, no matter how hard the struggle is, that's what you have to turn to. And make sure you surround yourself with people that support that as well. I'd also say that it's important to have people that disagree with you as well. You don't want people that are just yes men. You want people to challenge you and who will make you better.
She thinks on this for a moment, and she's just absorbing everything you're saying, and she nods, and then she turns to you and says, "Thank you very much for those words, Miss Kenna. You have given me a lot to think about."
I'm happy to do so.
"Also, if you don't mind me asking, how are you feeling?" she says as she's looking towards your belly.
Hungry all the time. Now that the nausea has passed, I am simply all aches and hunger, mostly. I get a sweet tooth. I liked sweets before, but now I crave them constantly.
I'm not sure if I personally can help you with your cravings at this moment, especially since it seems like Mr. Forfax is already planning on attending to that later this evening. However, I did wish to give you a gift for the child. She will snap her fingers, and as an individual will approach. This individual you recognize as Felix Alexius, and he's carrying this blanket, this cloth blanket. He hands you this blanket that's it's purple with the yellow trim, and he's a very polite young man, and he says, Her Highness commissioned this specifically for you, Guardian of Aether. It's a blanket that's been enchanted specifically to grow warmer or cooler depending on the weather. So it basically allows the child to regulate its temperature, either making it warmer in even in extreme cold, it will keep the child warm and toasty, and in extreme heat, it will allow it to cool down.
You have no idea how much I appreciate this. Thank you so much.
It is an honor, he says, as he hands it to you, and it's like silky, soft, and cuddly, and
Oh, perfect. Not to take away from this moment, Archon, but the dragon, I did not kill it. I kept it alive. I was able to speak to it a bit, and I'll sort of just explain like what it was telling me and what I interpreted. I know Tevinter is heavy on the dragon lore. Perhaps you and your researchers can find a way to talk to this beast and understand it and figure out what's calling it, what's driving it, and maybe help the other lands that are being attacked.
It's very curious, she says, very curious. This augur that you speak of, I can't help but feel like it sounds very familiar. And I've heard that unfortunately there's been a number of cases of dragon attacks happening over the last several months.
Yes. So out of character really quick, there's augurs in Avarian culture. I'm assuming it's not the same, but she'll explain that too. Oh, okay. Just, I don't think it's the same, but it's possible. Who knows? But perhaps if you have a way of keeping the beast confined in a cruelty-free environment, I guess I think that would benefit and perhaps find you allies outside of Tevinter, especially if you're able to aid in helping solve this problem.
She will nod, and she's about to respond to you when you hear several cries call out, Guardian of Aether, watch out! And you turn and you see that the dragon has woken up, and it's gone very feral, and it's charging right to you, and it's about to making its way towards, like with lightning speed. It's like foaming in the mouth. Its eyes are like completely glazed over, and it's just charging right towards you and Her Highness. What do you do?
My first instinct is to grab onto the Archon, turn us invisible, to try and get it out of the path, just to protect her.
Yep. You will grab the Archon and try to go invisible, which you will be able to successfully. However, just because you're invisible doesn't mean that you can't get hit by this thing. So the creature looks confused, but it's still like making its way towards you very fast. You don't, unfortunately, feel like you'll be fast enough to move to get completely out of the way without being hit. But suddenly, make me one more perception scene roll.
15.
Suddenly, you see it happens so fast, you can hardly like get what's going on. But just to break it down for you, in like a matter of a split second, you see what looks like a semi-transparent giant foot, like with 5 toes, a semi-transparent giant foot just kind of appear in midair magically, and then sort of it basically whips out and like kicks the side of the dragon full on in the face, kicks it. Think Green Lantern. Like a big thing, and just kind of kicks it. And the dragon again, falls to the ground, unconscious again, just before it hits the two of you.
Was that the maker's foot? I look around sort of like, what was that?
And I will end the scene there.
Why no?
Hello, everybody, and welcome to Lucky Session number 13 of the Dragon Age Ascension campaign, also known as Dragon Age Season 3. And as you can see, we have a full cast of people once again, including two guest players who are reprising their roles, Theobin and Kenna. Welcome, Hannah and Sam. Thank you for joining us today.
Thank you for having us. It's really exciting to be back.
Because today is session 13, guess what? At the end of this session, you guys will be more than halfway done with this campaign. You will pass the halfway mark after today. So, it's exciting stuff. But let us move on to the warm-up question. And really, the warm-up question is very simple. I would like for you to let me know, and if you want, you can answer this both in character or out of character, or both if they're different. If you are from the main cast, which of the two guest characters, Theobin and Kenna, are you most interested in role-playing with and why? Or having a role-playing scene with and why? And then opposite question for Kenna and Theobin, which of the other 5 main characters are you most interested or most excited about role-playing with and why?
For Daretham Theobin, I think because of the Dwarven connection, because Theobin seems like the person most associated with the Darkspawn. He also, if we're talking reunion session, was the one who first heard about Daretham, and etc. Plus, there's the whole thing of Theobin being a father with Rosie, on top of Daretham having a similar role with Cerys, except that he feels extremely guilty considering his role in her death. And it seems like he could relate to Theobin in the sense that Theobin was like, I wasn't there for Rosie, so I feel guilty for that. I think there could be some interesting parallels there. Also, I find it very interesting to see how Theobin would react to an awakened who is hated by other awakened. So yeah, just pretty simple reasons.
I also am looking forward to role-playing with Theobin, but Leon is not, because that's going to be a whole can of worms, but, it's going to be fun. He's either going to, find himself at the wrong end of poison cup of tea, or it's going to work out, it's one or the other.
You're such a wholesome boy, though.
Yeah, such a wholesome boy until he gets, until blood magic comes into the mix, or some other unsavory topics.
Don't mention that. Don't mention that.
You got a lot of sealed cans you're trying to hide. One of them's gonna pop open.
We'll see.
How do you think Pyrus would hypothetically mesh with Theobin? Do you think Pyrus would be a fan or not a fan?
I think that Pyrus would be a fan of the study of people and how to slowly take them apart, either through poison or through, blood magic. I think they could vibe there. But I also think that, it's not the right way to kill people. So, it's gonna be some tension there. So they may find their match, or they may come at odds.
I'm a little bit conflicted here because Pasha wants to go and talk to Theobin. I want Pasha to go and talk to Kenna. So with Pasha, again, because Theobin is Rosie's dad and Pasha likes Leon, he's a good young man, and she wants to go and talk him up and basically be like, you're here to protect Rosie's interest, I'm here to protect his interest. This is what's happening now.
It's like the two mothers of the parents of the kid, the kids who's dating each other, and they're okay.
Just love
That's what
Hannah's
Pasha wants to
disapproving shake in the corner. Just no.
So Russo would really like to interact with Kenna because she's the guardian of his region, and he liked that a lot. On the same time, he kind of has to prioritize Theo because he's been guarding essentially Halaser's soul. I don't really have an explanation beyond that, but that's how I see it.
I really had a hard time to decide who, because as both a player and as both a turn, I didn't know who he really would choose. Like over, I think he would both be sort of interested in both sides. One is a poison maker, and he's kind of just like, okay, so what's your reasoning of using these poisons for what, and like how medically does, within the culture. And then with Kenna, because Kenna is a former leader, or as far as I remember anyway. And she's also been in the region of Tevinter since that region is what in her region as a guardian. So it's kind of says, all right, what are your stance with Tevinter? How are you in that area? And possibly maybe some other things. Maybe I don't know. This has been a hard thing to decide on who. So my apologies if I can't give a clear answer. But either or. Apologies.
Yeah, that's totally fine because that was pretty much going to be my response as well. Theoben has reason to talk to every single one of these PCs. Obviously Russo is guarding Halaser's soul essentially, so he is invested in that. To what degree we will see in session. So if I have to select a couple from 5, that is difficult for me as well, but I do have to go for the obvious. Leon, I look forward to talking to you. For obvious reasons. I kind of explained a little bit before the recording started about Theoben, and the fact of the matter is that where he is in life, Rosie was his number one priority for a long time. She's now older, she's becoming a woman, but he in a sense has not fully moved on from her being a little girl and him being her father. So he is not going to be an easy character to sway. But it is because she has been everything to him for a long time. Dertham, I think because as Dominic touched on, Theoben does know of Dertham's existence. He has been in contact with Razakale and has been kind of following his whereabouts via his daughter. And I saw how you all ganged up on her about her spying. I'm not okay with that. So she pretty much.
I didn't do anything. I didn't do anything.
Yeah. So I think Theoben has kind of a bone to pick, I think, with all of the party for encouraging her to essentially turn against her family for her new loyalty. But Dertham in particular as an awakened Darkspawn, and because his role is as an ambassador to them, I think that would also be very interesting. And I'm going to pick a last one. Sorry, because it's really hard to. So I also want to bring up Tyrion, because whilst Theoben does get a lot of attention for his poison making, but before he got into poison making, he was a herbalist. And in fact, going all the way back to Theoben's interview for this campaign, he admitted that his favorite herb was elfroot, which is actually something that cures and heals. So he does have a background as a healer, and potions can harm and they can also help. So I do think there is some common ground there as well.
I think I'm really tough, but I think it'd be really interesting to talk to the Awakened Darkspawn, just because her only experience with them is biggest experience was with Razakale. And yeah, she met the whole, Awakened Darkspawn in their own place, but it'd be interesting to see how she reacts to another one. If it comes, I'm sure it might come up in the seasons. I don't know. We'll see. And then also Trian, just because I may know some things.
Mm-hmm.
So, but yeah. Yep.
I think
That's
my
not
eyeballs
ominous
just popped.
at all.
I think my eyeball just popped out of my eye socket. So what? Boink!
Every single planet that came in just went. I said, what?
Before all of the shenanigans with the spiders happened, earlier that morning, Bomb is going to ask Kenna and Theobin, well, and you can answer differently for this question. He will ask you, classical music or high energy music?
Definitely high energy.
Definitely high energy.
Energy, please, Bomb,
All right.
please.
Okay. And for Theobin?
I think you may need to pick up the speed a bit with Kenna. I think she needs it more than me right now.
So also high energy?
Yeah.
Okay. So because it's you chose high energy, just as an FYI, for the rest of the day, you have the option to make any of your physical rolls versus mental rolls. So physical, like a damage, and even that includes damage as well. You can take advantage once a day, and it's a use or lose, use it or lose it for the day. And because Bomb is very good at what he does, you may opt to do this advantage after the fact, like after the result is given. You can make, I might say, or I'm sorry, after you roll, but before you know the result.
Yeah.
Is it a one-time ability or for the day?
It's a one-time roll
okay.
for the day.
You can use it
after
once
you
a day.
Yeah,
Yep,
but
got
after
it.
you see your own results, but you don't know what the like target number is necessarily.
So if you roll a
before
13 or something like that,
and you don't think that, you can
Same.
opt.
Barding inspiration from D&D, just for people who might know that.
Right, but I
Yeah.
feel like even in D&D, you have to declare that you're using it before you roll it. I think you have to say, I'm going to take
Inspiration,
advantage
yes.
now and then roll it.
Barding
So in
inspiration,
this
you know.
version, fast forward then to now, and so we will take it right when you guys had just finished your conversation with Bomb, and from the shrubbery, you will see Kenna and Theobin emerge. Can you both describe what the two of you look like now? It's been 10 years, maybe not too much has changed, but describe what you look like anyway, starting with Theobin.
Sure. Well, Theobin has got the same kind of same ginger hair, but it's a little bit more combed back. It has a lot more of a kind of grown-up hairstyle, so it's pulled back into like it's obviously been slicked with mousse and hairspray. His hairline has gone up a bit as well because he has aged, so he looks a little bit smarter in his hairstyle, but his clothes he probably haven't changed that much. He wasn't really ever a snazzy dresser, so he's probably still got his kind of maroon colored hoodie with the armor underneath. He's got some very walking through the deep roads kind of pants. They're pretty like rough and ready, and yeah, he's got a little bit of age and sophistication to his look, but he's still Theobin, so he still looks like he's probably just come out of a deep roads expedition.
I would like to think that your weaponry has had an upgrade as well. Can you describe what your weapon looks like now?
Yes. So his longbow used to be a kind of curved oak wood. At this point in time, it is currently metallic, or at least metallic looking in nature. It's also, I don't know if anybody would be close enough to see this, but there are two emblems that are carved onto the metallic sheath, and one is an emblem for earth and another is an emblem for fire. So that has got a little bit of an upgrade, and it's probably bejeweled in places as well.
Love it.
Ooh.
Love it. Kenna, how about yourself? And Kenna
I'm
is wearing
bejeweled.
today. Today, Kenna's wearing which designer?
First,
This is TMZ. The Guardians have just come through the catwalk.
Yes.
it's much much of the same, very well-worn travel clothes, probably like a sort of fur robe. I think the biggest change would be she's probably got like a dope half shave on the side, and then her hair is twisted into like a long braid. In the braid, there's probably golden thread, a little bit of that Orlesian taste to it, a little influence. She does have a necklace, and on the necklace is a beautiful ring that she keeps there so she doesn't lose it. And I think the most obvious change would be that she has this swollen belly. You know.
She's definitely in her third trimester.
Yes.
Very much in her third trimester, yes. The other question I wanted to ask Kenna is, I'd like to believe, and you can argue with me if you want, but I'd like to believe that every Avar who has served as matriarch or patriarch, when they retire, they are given something that they can visually wear that denotes that they used to be a matriarch or patriarchs, because they're still respected by the people. So maybe, you know, like I'm saying, so I think something, I don't know what you would be wearing that may show that you are a previous matriarch.
I don't know if it would be something she'd wear, but maybe like a tattoo or something.
Okay.
Like, yeah, like, I don't know, like.
Okay.
Very Viking-ic, kind of across the brow.
Sure, yeah, that would be pretty cool. That'd be really neat.
Okay, cool.
All right, so, unpause. What happens?
Well, this turn kind of looks at the cliff, or like where they're coming from.
Bomb, do you have additional party members?
That is, I guess, the leaders of our group, yes. I would like to formally introduce you to Theoben, the Guardian of Earth, and Kenna, the Guardian of Ether.
As he indicates over towards Kenna and Theoben, I think Theoben is just kind of holding on to the shrubbery a little bit, like, and he'll throw back to Kenna. You you'd think the Guardian of Earth could get a speed boost given the time I'm running on it.
Still beat you. And I'm 7 months pregnant.
Will you ever stop making everything a competition?
You lost, just admitted.
So when
No, Bomb, I would have been okay if you'd slowed down, given that she seems far along.
We're fine. Hi.
Would either of you like assistance? Leon sort of stiffens at the mention of Theoben, but rushes over to try to help either of them.
Oh, he's so kind. What a good boy he is.
The campaign ends with Hannah as the final boss, not Theoben, Hannah.
During that brief pause, Tyrion just bows.
Daretham would definitely have stiffened up, more seeing Theoben, because that's the figure he knows the best out of the Guardians. It relaxed a little bit when he kind of saw the banter between Kenna and Theoben, but they would definitely, anyone nearby would be able to see that he's like not saying anything, he's just kind of wary.
Well, this was unexpected. 2-ish so weeks. More Guardians. He blinks.
All right. Ignoring the fact that I just got beaten in a race by a heavily pregnant woman, what are we walking in on here?
Well, you see, there was a spider that was also a darkspawn, and it had darkspawn little spider babies. Yes, sir.
They're more of the mutated darkspawn, Theoben, Bomb says.
More of them. This has been happening before then.
By the stone, I wish it would. But
it's the reason we're out here. That is our mission.
Have you seen more of these? Is this uncommon? Where do they come from?
Too common. Too many. Very awful every time we see them.
How numerous? A lot?
More than we'd like. And enough to lead a fight in the dark, deep roads, at least.
Just be glad you didn't run into the ones that can fly.
Oh, don't
But they
remind
can
me.
fly.
They look like bats.
You know what? They were cowards, flying high enough so someone can't reach them.
Okay, in that case, she's just gonna look over at Valor and be like,
Yeah. Also, to Kenna and Theobin, there's a griffin there, by the way.
Right.
Oh, I
you
missed
all-
it.
You just now realized, because maybe you saw this creature and you thought it was a large horse or some bizarre-looking bird.
Stop.
Oh, that's not
that-
possible.
Stasis spell, apparently.
I mean, if you'd like to tell her that she's not real, go ahead. And Pasha's gonna gently pat Valor.
You don't know. You don't know me very well. I don't like to mince words. If I needed to tell her that, I would. But you do know what happened to the original griffins. Why they died out.
Rah! 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 At this point, like, Valor is acting like, that's news to me. Nobody said anything to me about that. Ever. I think Valor will now turn towards Pasha and continue making noises as if to say it isn't so. Say it isn't so.
Pasha's just gonna shh, easy go. I'm sorry.
Now I'm just gonna go off. I'm just gonna go kick a nug now, just to complete.
Just a random baby nug goes up right next to Theobin's food. Out of nowhere.
Oh, it's so sweet. Can we touch it?
If it allows you.
Yeah, just be
Oh,
careful.
it will.
You can easily let the man in too.
Kenna, roll me an animal handling, please. Oh yeah, with a stunt, a 2 point,
6 point
stunt. Yeah. So, I mean, this makes perfect sense. Kenna, the animal
Yeah.
whisperer.
There's a reason we called her like Snow White in the last campaign.
I said I only got to talk to rats, but that's fine. So as I approach it though, can I use my staff to talk to animals?
Yes, 100%.
Oh,
Yes, absolutely.
Theobin's just standing back like, oh, again.
Here we go. Don't hear it, Theo. Hello. Hi, you magnificent creature.
The creature then looks confused and says, Are you speaking to me? I'm quite well, thank you. I haven't been able to fully communicate with anyone since I woke up from my sleep.
Oh, that's a shame. How are you
This
doing?
is
Are they
gonna-
treating you well? Are they nice
This,
to you?
This is gonna go on a while, guys.
Yeah, so you'll be able to hear to everybody else. I think Kenna's talking normally, like common. So you can hear her end of the conversation, but you can't understand Valor's end of the conversation. What was the last thing that Kenna asked?
Are they treating you well?
Oh yes, very well. Beastmaster Athon has been feeding me very, very well, and Miss Pasha has been grooming me.
Oh, grooming. Who's the Beastmaster? Who's the Beastmaster?
Pasha just points at Atha like this one.
Oh, the Beastmaster is Miss Pasha's boyfriend.
Boyfriend?
You hear her say boyfriend.
Pasha looks confused.
Ooh la la.
Jonathan just kind of slowly looks over. What?
And he starts to blush. Athon starts to blush a bit.
That's not a-
what's going on here. Okay.
That's not a word I want to hear today.
Leon visibly stiffens at the word boyfriend.
Right.
You smell nice, which makes sense because you're a person of the wilderness, so of course you smell nice.
Is he like full grown griffin or like a little baby
She's-
griffin?
No. She
Underground.
is full grown, large enough that you can certainly ride on it. In fact, 2 people have been riding on it. So
Could I ride it, please?
That's up to Valor.
are you asking her?
Yeah, I was asking Valor and everyone if it's okay.
Do you have something to eat afterwards?
What do you like to eat? What is it? What do you like to eat?
Meat.
Meat. It's probably. Why don't we go hunting while we're in the air, and we'll see if we can find something.
That sounds wonderful.
Kenna,
Perfect.
She'll turn back to Pasha as if asking for permission.
Pasha, I think she's looking between Kenna in like is she actually talking to Valor or is she just doing, like, hello there, how are you? I'm glad you're like...
Kenna,
Yes.
I think we have other priorities than taking the Griffin out to dinner, don't you think?
Yes. Yes, we do. But she is hungry. I like to say she's hungry. So, maybe.
Well, her handlers can feed her.
Yeah, okay.
I have so many questions on how you two are here with Mr. Bond. I do have a very interesting question regarding these creatures. You said you've been seeing them for everywhere. Do you know what they are? Sort of.
No, but we know how they're made. I'd be happy to divulge what we've learned, but this probably isn't the safest space to do it.
Maybe someone could scout ahead and maybe feed the Griffin.
I think he is just amazing. I think perfect person, whole party. Love this lesson.
Kenna, is that the one? I mean, Theo's had reports, but he doesn't know what you guys look like. So,
No.
Just gonna throw my arm over Leon. Act natural.
Hey, buddy.
I'm gonna see that, and then Dartham's gonna kind of like look at Leon, make the connection, and be like, "Okay, I'm gonna help you this one time." And he'll say, "I assume you mean me." Rosie's been reporting on me, obviously.
she reports on many things. Well, used to. Somebody told her to stop talking to her father. Who would do that? I wonder.
Oh,
You said
Nobody
it's
looks
not
at
the
Russo.
safest location. How about we could head back to the circus? If you people have a camp, we could go back there. Where is preferable? Talking in the woods is...
Before we go, I would like to do something with these spiders. I want to investigate one of them. I want to understand their anatomy at least. Okay.
I like him. You're okay.
I look over at Darren. Can you help me?
Of course.
Here we go.
And I look at Leon.
Tyrion, go ahead and roll. What would probably be a roll to scavenge off of a...
I would be the one actually scavenging because I'm Darkspawn.
I used to use nature. I don't know if it's the same type of thing.
I think it's cunning probably, but I would still want to make the... I want to investigate also, just say like what's the anatomy of the body and all that. How is it like? Because I think I've read some books on Darkspawn, I think.
So do you want to like assist me with it, or because I'd be the one like primarily doing it?
With my cunning to try to tell him where certain parts of the body is on what should be a normal spider?
Yeah, I'll assist him.
Daretham will be handling the corpse, which is probably best because this is Darkspawn. Probably better that he physically touches things. And you know, with Tyrion's instructions, he will be able to help Tyrion investigate the anatomy. So yeah, this is very alien to you. Like there are parts of the Darkspawn body that is been completely morphed, like rearranged, enlarged and shrunk in such a way to provide it this shape, this spider-like shape, super unnatural.
While they're doing this, I think Theoben's gonna kind of stand back with Kenna. He'll be watching them work, and he'll just kind of be like, "They're missing a very obvious taint gland."
Just tell them. Just tell him.
You might want to lift the organ that you're holding, Leon, and shift it a bit. There's something behind it.
All right. And he'll just reach it. Like, everyone can see that, unlike others, he's just unbothered, reaching his hand, flesh and all in, and just tearing it up.
As you reach your hand, flesh and all in, right directly into this corpse, I would like for Daretham to roll me a Constitution roll, please.
Oh, Theo, you did that on
this,
purpose.
Is this a stamina?
I did not.
It's not. It is not stamina. I just want a general Constitution roll.
It's basic,
Okay.
not it's basically knowledge. You cover your hands
so
when doing this.
That will be a 16 with 5 stun points.
Okay. So you go ahead and do that, and as you are, more of the blood, the black blood is spilling out. And I'm going to say, Tyrion, that there's something... So you've seen, like, Darkspawn... Have you ever seen Darkspawn blood before this?
I've been in Neanderthals for quite a bit, so which is infected with Darkspawn, so I think I might have seen one or two.
Okay.
It's been a long time.
Okay, so the blood itself looks different to you. It seems to be having it has a more tar-like consistency than you're used to it. It's thicker, and even visually, there's something about it that looks a little bit off in how it's tinted, the coloration of this black. There's something about it that's tinted, but it's something that you can't really like put your finger on unless you were to take a closer look at this blood, like through a sample of some sort.
Seems this blood is different. I kind of point out like to Daretham and like Leon who are next to me.
Daretham would kind of look and then like run a bit through his fingers. And then he'd even kind of raise up his arm, which has like a spider puncture wound. You can see a little bit of his own blood oozing out. Yes, quite.
Can you collect some? He throws 2 vials over.
And just catches them, and then...
Do sample, yeah. Leon, we got our work cut out for this then, I think.
Yeah, I'm trying to stay away a little bit. This is not what I'm used to.
The queasy kid's clearly out of his depth.
There's back to Theoben. He has like his notebook.
These are kind of like under, like he's trying under breath to make these comments to Kenna while you guys are looking at the dogs.
I love the shade. The utter shade.
Meanwhile, while this is happening, Sir Garrison finally has finished processing and absorbing what's happening in front of him, and he seems to have relaxed slightly with the presence of the Guardians. And I think he's going to approach the 2 Guardians as well, and he will say, Guardians of the Pentavive, my name is Sir Garrison. I am actually one of the fellow Templars underneath your comrade, Sir Ashwood, he says, and he gives a bow.
Oh, great.
And what has been your latest report, sir?
I am happy to report that Mr. Faust has been behaving... He has been behaving rather acceptable over the last several weeks. He's a bit lacking in his physical exercises, and quite frankly, I don't know if he's taking his mental exercises that seriously either. But overall, he's been adequate.
You're saying he's a slacker?
Daretham would kind of just one long ear would perk up, and he would say, "Well, I'd hope not. He saved our lives on multiple occasions."
Oh.
very much.
Sir Garrison, sir, I have been busy with research, sir, but thank you for your praise.
Of course. Well, you would appreciate this, actually, Guardian of Earth. I assure you that Leon has been put into very good hands. He actually has been spending...
Leon
I
comes up and
would like to, if it's all right with you, sir, I'd like to hear as little as possible about the hands he's been put in.
Oh. I was just... But they're good hands.
Sir Garrison, sir, I think we need your help over here. Can you identify this thing? He holds up like some random object. I think it's needs a sword cut. Yeah, right here.
Probably some sort of darkspawn magic.
It looks much more like its bladder.
I'm not a darkspawn expert. I'm not a Grey Warden.
Well, can you detect any magic? Yes, magic.
On the darkspawn, I suppose. Let me get a closer look at it.
Probably about this point I've done with my harvesting, so like I probably wrapped up some cloaks and stuff so I didn't cover the blood everywhere, so I'd those up, burn them real quick, and then walk back over.
Sure. Sir Garrison will go over there. He's still keeping one eye over at the giant ogre darkspawn. But for right now, since the Guardians have not, it seems like the Guardians are associated with said thing. He hasn't said anything yet.
Theo will go over to Balm, and he'll say, any idea why they struck here, particularly?
Your guess is as good as mine.
Doesn't follow their usual pattern.
No, and that's disturbing. They are spreading. Perhaps they are looking to expand their reach. That is my best guess, which is not ideal.
No, it isn't. I can only keep the king in the dark for so long. If they're coming to the surface, I'm going to have to talk to him.
I still don't believe this is an actual blight, though. Their numbers are still far fewer in comparison to a typical blight.
I want to believe you, Balm, but, we haven't found the archdemon.
Yeah, Daretham kind of pipes up and says, as one who's very familiar with the calling, I haven't heard anything yet, so that's at least a sign of comfort.
Hold on, Sir Garrison says. Wait one moment. I do sense something magical within this creature. Something magical within its blood, actually. It's...
Lyrium.
Lyrium?
Wait, Lyrium?
A special kind.
What sort of lyrium are we talking about? Red?
Green.
Green? They come in green variety now?
When we found the mutated darkspawn, we slew a few, and I inspected its blood. In the blood of the mutated darkspawn, we found green flecks. They were lyrium, a new type. They were green.
Forgive me, but if it's lyrium based, there has to be an ore deposit somewhere. They can only grow along it, then isn't it a finite resource?
Depends on how it is created, doesn't it?
Where was this original green lyrium found?
In the deep roads. We found, from the mutated properties I examined, that it had deformed existing darkspawn into these vile, mutated creatures. They weren't born anew.
We're trying to find the source of the green lyrium, seeing if there is, as you would put it, such deposits. But finding such a thing has been difficult.
Has it been in...
So these three creatures are not natural evolution. This is mutated evolution.
That's right.
Do you know how long it takes a darkspawn to evolve?
It differs. I haven't been able to find a consistent pattern, anything even to suggest how it got into their system in the first place.
Is this perhaps a reaction to the awakened Darkspawn? Whatever caused the growth of Darkspawn to begin with is maybe reacting to the void of, to say, quote unquote, normal Darkspawn now that, they are being awakened.
At the mention of the awakened Darkspawn, Theo's going to look at Sir Garrison and a few of the other people around, because he's not exactly sure how common knowledge this is. So he's looking for a reaction.
Darrison kind of pipes up. He just figured it out. Everyone else here, actually, Athon also just discovered it. Everyone else knows.
You told the Templar.
Well,
no, they did not tell the Templar.
Considering he was about to kill my friend, I'd figured I might as well shock him a bit so he wouldn't kill us.
Funny thing is, though, my superior, Sir Ashwood, didn't say anything to me either, yet they claim that he knew about these awakened Darkspawn this entire time, Sir Garrison says.
We could be attacked any minute here. We should probably get to safety, don't you think?
Yep.
Yes. I'm gonna look at the vial. Leon, give me a vial also for that. We'll analyze it. Sir Theobin, would it be okay if we can maybe see if we can trade notes? Maybe you can see if we might investigate this matter also, just in case.
Yes, absolutely. In fact, and he'll kind of pull out a lapel of his jacket. Here's some more vials if you need them.
Oh, thank
He'll
you.
hand over some of his kind of collective jars.
Shall we go back to the circus then? Sir Garrison asks.
Unless you have a better option, indicating towards the three.
What about our companions? Baum asks.
We have a camp set up. We have a few people there.
Well, we do have a griffin to help relay the message.
This circus is not aware, though.
Yeah. Of
Maybe we should, perhaps Athon and Valor can return back and the rest of us go to this camp.
Well, the circus, I think, would be a safer area, but it's also comfortable with snacks.
And some of them might know someone at the camp.
Where were you intended to go before you ran into us?
The deep roads.
And our camp is at the deep roads. What a coincidence.
There's an entrance around here.
That is.
Indeed.
Forgive me for butting in, but you weren't traveling with some Grey Wardens, were you?
We have a Grey Warden with us back at camp. Lento.
Pasha is going to start walking in the direction you came from. Pasha is off.
Oh,
Not much of a talker, is she?
She may know him, and she's been looking for him.
does she know him or does she know him?
Knows him.
Knows.
He was effectively her child.
Oh, gross. Sorry. Okay.
The child was kidnapped, sort of.
Defend her.
Yeah.
Right,
So,
well,
Don't worry, she can tell you the rest.
and you cannot stop her. She will go.
You really
and
can't.
She will go if she has something on her mind. She will go to it, and nothing can stop her.
I still have a bruise from where she punched me a few days ago.
I knew a woman very much like that.
I was just about to say the same thing to Theo. Oh.
Seeing the I assume like kind of wistful-ish look on Theobin's face. Yes, no.
Yeah, I think so. I think there's a hint of nostalgia and sadness there when he says that.
Maybe Theobin's eyes would eventually reach Daretham's, and he would not see pity. He would not see anything. He would just see a look of complete understanding. Like Dareth knows exactly how you feel.
Sir Athon and Valor will return back as everybody else follows. You guys will arrive a little bit deeper in the woods, and you will see that there is indeed a camp that has been set up, and you will see two gentlemen, one with brownish hair and one with blondish hair. Out of character, the one with brownish hair is Connor. And the blondish hair is in a Grey Warden suit. I think immediately when you guys approach, Connor will stand up and he will say, "You're back, and you brought back many other people with you." Connor says,
We're popular, you know how it is.
Yeah, your pregnant wife beat me in a race again.
Never gets old.
"Well, to your defense, Theobin, she does have slightly longer legs. It puts her at an advantage."
Yes, that's right. Natural disadvantage right there.
I'm just trying to help you out.
I appreciate it.
Can't you glide through the earth? Not that I'm giving you ideas, but
Connor will approach Kenna and grab a hold of her hands and says, "Everything's okay?"
all good. I give him a little kiss on the cheek.
They'll give him a kiss on the cheek, and he'll reflexively afterwards just give your belly a very soothing rub. Hi, Connor says as he looks at everybody.
Pasha is stood right next to that tree. She's right about there, and she has just stopped, and she is just standing very still. And I think something about Pasha's posture. She has very good posture. She always she takes up her space. She stands with her shoulders back and head held high and all of this. And right now she looks small. That's what she just looks very small, and her face is she just has a very strange facial expression. It's a mixture of sorrow, fear, joy. And she's just standing there silent, completely ignoring Connor. Who cares about him?
Excuse me.
The warden is curiously looking at the group as a whole. He does not seem to be looking at any one in particular, just looking at the group in general.
Yeah. So for Connor and Lentos, Daretham's kept his hood off because there's no point in putting it on. And unless anyone else would be, he kind of just approaches next to Pasha. "You're gonna be okay."
He's gotten so big. He's so much taller than I thought he would be. He might not have any idea who I am.
But do you have hope?
I don't know.
Well,
And I think Pasha is going to take I think she takes just one step forward, just a very slow step, and she probably looks super weird. Because she's kind of doing that, looking, do you, that kind of thing going on with her body. So, anyone looking at, this lady cannot walk in a straight line, clearly. And she's fiddling with her hand and the front panel of her sari, and she's just kind of she looks like she wants to dart forward, but at the same time she's like, "No, stay close to the tree. The tree will protect you."
I'm gonna walk up to Pasha, and then I'm just gonna say in Qunlat, "You've waited for this moment. Take it."
She looks up at Rousseau, and she takes hold of his hand, and she gives it a very quick squeeze, and I think in response she says, "I'm scared."
You have every right to be, but I could remember you after just 2 years. I'm sure he still remembers you.
She smooths the sari down, and she strides up to Daniel. Still, I think she's like trying to do that thing of like straight back, but no, we keep it straight. We keep it straight.
You go approach this man, and you can see just, again, from his facial structure, the shape of his nose, the shape of his mouth, and you look into his eyes, and you are very convinced that you can still see the little boy from way back when. You are convinced this is the same man.
In common, she'd say, "Hello?"
He looks at you curiously, not exactly sure why this person out of the group just approached him randomly, but he remains polite and he says, "Greetings, may I help you, ma'am?"
There is a look of disappointment